the law is rarely what you think. So let's open the case. Your manager calls you in. No warning, no real reason, just, it's not working out. You're stunned. Can they actually do that? And is there anything you can do about it? This is one of the most misunderstood areas of UK law. And it's just been shaken up by the biggest employment law reform in a generation. The trouble is, most of what you've heard about it is already wrong. Some of you think an employer always needs a solid reason to let you go. Others think, in the early days, they can sack you for almost anything. The truth sits awkwardly between the two, and it depends almost entirely on one thing. In England and Wales, your protection from unfair dismissal depends heavily on how long you've worked there. Length of service is the single biggest factor deciding whether you can even bring a claim. And this is exactly the part that's changing. Here's the current position, as it stands today. To bring an ordinary unfair dismissal claim, you generally need 2 years of continuous service. Under that 2-year mark, an employer has far more freedom to dismiss you, and that surprises a lot of people. But the law is changing. The Employment Rights Act 2025 became law at the end of 2025. It's the biggest shake-up to workers' rights in decades. And this is where almost everyone gets confused, because of how it's being rolled out. The Act is law, but it is not all in force. It's being switched on in phases across 2026 and 2027. So right now, in 2026, many of the headline changes have not actually started yet. Knowing what's live, and what isn't, is everything. The big one, from the 1st of January 2027, that 2-year qualifying period drops to just 6 months. Millions more workers will be able to claim unfair dismissal far sooner. But note the date, that protection begins in 2027, not today. And here's the myth to kill right now. You may have heard this became a day one right, protection from your very first shift. It didn't. That proposal was dropped before the Act passed. The compromise was 6 months, not day one. Anyone telling you otherwise is working from old headlines. But there's a vital exception that applies from your very first day, regardless of service. Certain dismissals are automatically unfair. No 2 years, no 6 months. Day one. If you're sacked for whistleblowing, for being pregnant or taking maternity leave, for asserting a statutory right, or for trade union activity, that is automatically unfair from day one. And dismissal for a discriminatory reason, like race, sex, disability or age, is unlawful from day one too, under the Equality Act. And even when you do have the service to be protected, a fair dismissal isn't just about having a reason. The employer must have a genuinely fair reason, must act reasonably, and must follow a fair process, including the ACAS Code of Practice. Skip the process, and a dismissal can be unfair even when the reason was sound. So what has actually switched on already? From April 2026, statutory sick pay starts from your first day off sick, and paternity and unpaid parental leave became day one rights. Those are real, and in force now. The unfair dismissal changes are the ones still on the runway for 2027. So, can your boss sack you for that? Today, if you've under 2 years in, and it's not one of those automatically unfair or discriminatory reasons, they often can, with limited recourse. Over 2 years, they need a fair reason and a fair process. And from 2027, that protection arrives far sooner. 3 things to remember. First, know exactly how long you've been continuously employed. Today it's the 2-year line that matters most, from 2027, 6 months. Second, the reason matters enormously. If it touches whistleblowing, pregnancy, a statutory right, or discrimination, you may be protected from day one, no matter how new you are. That changes everything. And third, employment tribunal time limits are short, usually 3 months less a day. So if you think you've been treated unlawfully, don't sit on it. Speak to ACAS, or a solicitor, quickly. That's the law as it stands. This has been general legal information, not advice. For your own situation, always speak to a qualified solicitor or ACAS. I'll see you in the next case. Court adjourned.